first I would like to thank you for the invitation, and I'm very pleased that I can be part of this workshop. My name is VOJTKOVA, and I'm PhD student of parasitology in Charles University in Prague, Czech Republic. And I would like to say you something about ethical aspects of animal testing. In the beginning of this presentation, I would like to mention a few basic concepts which are very important for understanding this problem. The first one is animal testing. It's the use of non-human animals in experiments that seeks to control the variables that affect the behavior of biological system under the sky. Animal testing involves doing the scientific tests on animals for a clear purpose. Microphone. Yeah. This approach can be contrasted with field study in which animals are observed in their natural environment. Sometimes, especially outside the fields of science, people use the term vivisection. Vivisection is operation on the living animals for experimental rather than healing purpose. This term was used for experiments in the past when analgesics and anesthetics haven't been used. Currently, definition is used by people who are opposed to animal testing. In the beginning of the experimental science can be tracked back to Francis Bacon in 1620, who proposed the experimental scientific method in his article Organum Novum. Soon after Bacon, some of the most important fundamental advantages is our understanding of mammalian biology through experiments on animals were observed or were performed, and some of them you can see in the table. 96 from 106 Nobel Prize for Physiology and Medicine were performed using the animal testing. These facts show that animal testing have a very vital role in biomedical research. List of the animal subjects include wide spectrum of animals from Tenotorhabidis elegans and Drosophila melanogaster over cold-blooded vertebrates to non-human primates. Rodents make up to 70% of all animals using in European Union, especially laboratory mice and rats. Scientific communities try to develop and use replacement and reduction techniques, and more than 60% of all experiments are single-type tests like change in diet, blood sampling, or drug test. In invasive methods, animals is always calming by analgesics or narcotized by anesthetics. Scientists try to avoid experiments causing pain and acknowledge that experiments should be made as human as possible. On the other hand, animal testing has a vital role in many scientific and medical advantages. Although people enjoy better life because we are able to develop new medical treatments and know everything about some diseases, all made possible by animal testing. The first significant theoretical contribution in this area was made by Russell and Burge in 1959 in their article of Principle of Human Experiment Techniques, in which they made concept of the three R's. Russell and Burns argued that we should always to reduce a number of animal use in experiments, to replace animal experiments with non-animal studies, and finally to refine experiment protocols to minimize pain and distress of animals. After that, ethical principles of using experimental animals were established, and principles include these 7 points. In the European Union, the using experimental animals are compliant to the 3 R's. Is controlled by law, especially the directive on the protection of animal use for scientific purpose. In addition, every country has its own law regulations of this problem, and in Czech Republic, the use and the handling of experimental animal is a part of law number 246 on the protection of animal against abuse, with degree 418 of the protection of animal against killing, and degree number 419 of the protection of experimental animals. All procedures with animals have to be reviewed by local animal care committees. Everyone, before the start experiments, must to prepare a project of experiments, which has to be approved by minimal 3 members commission composed of biological and veterinary experts. Subsequently, the project has to be approved also by a relevant ministry. Proper housing and management of animal facilities is essential for animal well-being, subsequently for experimental on them. Animal facilities of the Department of Parasitology at Charles University in Prague are used for researcher and testing purposes. Supervisor of animal facilities and researcher who perform the experiments has responsibilities for the conditions under animals are kept. A list of species kept here includes classical laboratory animals like mice, golden hamsters, and guinea pigs, and another species like Mastomys arabicantis, steppe lemmings, Chinese or Hungarian hamsters, which are using for testing a putative reservoir host, or for searching a new laboratory models for Leishmaniasis. Only authorized persons are allowed to enter to the animal facilities, and everyone who enters to these facilities have to change clothes and shoes. Within environmental concepts like temperature, humidity, and lights are regulated and evaluated by to proper level and consistency. Temperature and humidity are regulated by heaters and humidifiers with thermostat. And most of the laboratory animals are either crepuscular or nocturnal, and their eyes are adapted to the dim light condition, and few of them have any color vision. 2 important aspects of the light: its intensity and photoperiod. 35.400 lux at the bench is adequate for normally work on these facilities, and dark light cycle is very important for regulation circadian rhythm and regulation of breeding of animals. 12 to 12 hour cycle is suitable for majority of laboratory animals. Since many animals spend their lives in cages, so these accommodations play a main role in their environments. Cages must provide the animal with comfort and safety, and animal must to be able to move freely and have access to clean water and food. In our facilities, we used plastic boxes with viral lid, and these boxes are suitable for cleaning. The maximum numbers of animals in cages is shown in table. It depends on box size. Environmental enrichments is an attempt to reduce the stress in the animals to allowing them to do the same things like they should do in the nature. The guide for the care and use laboratory animals refer to environmental enrichments to three categories. The first one is structural environment enrichments, and this point includes place for rest, paper roll, wooden houses, or wood wool for rodents to build a hiding place. The second one is social environmental enrichments. It means that we house the animal, which are the same species, we house it together because this providing the typical behavior like rooming and netting. Activity stimulation and enrichments include running wheels, piece of wood for biting, and also include exercise and social interaction between animals and handlers or researchers. It's already known that water is a vehicle of microorganisms, and the methods of supply should minimize these hazards. We use the glass bottles with steel caps, and water is changed, and bottles are sterilized twice a week. Diet should meet the nutritional requirements of animals, and in our facilities, animals are fed by ST1 or MOK pellets, depending on the animal species, and in addition, some of the species needs to enrich the diet, for example, with hay in case of aricantes and hamsters, and or with zoophobas in case mastonish. Regular maintenance and cleaning are essential for good husbandry and welfare of animals. But there is real danger in overcleaning in pregnant or lactating females. Such disturbance can result in cannibalism or mismothering, because odor making is also an important activity for some species, and cleaning cage can cause a social disruption. In our facilities, bending substrate are removed once or twice a week depending on the animal species, and floor, walls and shelf surface was cleaning once a week. DDT program means there is deratization, disinfection and disinsection, and this program was used in our facility. For the disinfection, we use warm water containing sauersaponate. For disinsection, liquid gel pyramid against cockroach, and for deratization, we used only physical barriers. Another program is a program of adaptive manipulation with laboratory animals. And this program includes handling and basic procedures could be done only by people who have a certificate of competence. All animals could be used for experiments after acclimatization. It means that animal had to be in our facility minimum 2 weeks before the experiment starts. In case of hamsters, before the experiment starts, they should be handled by a person who will to do the experiment, because these animals are very sensitive. Number of animals used for experiments, number of born and dead animals, number of both animals must be registered, and the records must be retained for minimum 3 years. Condition of laboratory animals are checked daily. We check quality of hair, weight loss, voting, injury, or etc. And the records must be retained for many. The records include the date of birth, origin, sex, species, and purpose of breeding. The last slide of presentation shows some pros and cons of the current system. In my opinion, is that advance of current system is animal rights. That animal rights are guaranteed by law. It's based on reduction of animal numbers in experiment and development of alternative methods. But there is also some disadvantages, like increase of research costs, bureaucracy, and time delay in experimental work. The solution could be maybe the high competence to institutional ethical committees, or focusing restriction to experimental procedure causing pain or suffering. Thank you.
Est-ce qu'il y a des questions pour any question?
Maybe a comment?
Yes.
Comment as well? Very nice, wasn't it? That was the first comment. The second comment is, of course, it's interesting maybe to just discuss a few minutes the limitations of animal experimentation, because it's, of course, there's 95, 96 Nobel Prizes that were won with animal experimentation. But I think that there's so much limitations associated using animals as disease models, and models for immunity for humans. And so this is maybe something that I don't know if people, of course, think daily about it. There are really cases where, for example, in the mouse, there's certain immune pathways which just do not exist. There's a whole lipid antigen presentation pathway, CD1A, B, and C, that is extremely important for mycobacteria. Immune response doesn't exist in the mouse. Of course, normal populations are not isogenic. We're using isogenic mice, and so there's a whole complexity in terms of immunogenetic heterogeneity that is missing completely. Of course, it's a mouse and not a human, so there is that also. But another thing which I find a very interesting example, where you think, oh, we're working all with the same isogenic mice, but they're not the same. Because there was some years ago a very interesting paper published where they realized that in the same laboratory they were not getting the same immune results, having the same isogenic mice purchased by different companies, Taconic and Jackson Lab.
Yeah, same problem.
Oh yeah, same problem. And so these guys, it was published in Cell, it was just a finding, and they realized it's the nutrition. It was the microbiome of these mice, which was different, colonized by different bacteria, that totally changed the immunological response, and it was just a food. And so just, you know, there is so many limitations that it's easier for us to work on animals because there's paperwork, but nothing compared to the paperwork if you want to work on human samples. And so the scientist today says, let's just work on the animal. You get high impact papers, you get lower prices, you know. And so we kind of forget a little bit about us working with the human sample because it's also so complicated. End of my second point.
Merci, Dr. Zé. Is that one question? Yes?
Just
Yes.
a comment. By the way, the animals are more protected than humans, so it's administratively easier to perform experiments in humans.
Oh, really?
Yes, because they can write a consent, and a mouse is unable to do it. So when you have a written consent, and ethical committee will agree. But if you are doing something that it's highly suspect.
I would argue if you do Leishmania infection experiments, it will still be easier to use mice than humans. Because
It depends, of
the
course.
consent will be different. No, but it's interesting, yeah, you're right. There's consent.
I was wondering if I can ask a question that we have answered a little bit about the nutrition because we have marionettes in our laboratory, and sometimes we give them some carrots and vegetables. So now you have answered that may change the response. Okay, so.
Yeah, so if you have variations in between experiments, it could be as simple as that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.